up, guys? Your boy Rayo. I'm back in the gym training, getting ready for big things. Teofimo's dad called. He wants another sparring session, so we're here. That's what they want. Thank you guys for the support.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Jose El Rayo Valenzuela accepted Teofimo Lopez's challenge to a trilogy sparring after knocking out Teo in the previous two, which I'm gonna leave the links for those videos in the comment section below for the people that's been living under a rock. Nevertheless, Teofimo Lopez Sr. contacted Benavidez Sr. today in order to set up a trilogy sparring between his son Teo Jr. and El Rayo, in order for his son to get his revenge, which only could mean one thing. El Rayo lived up to his nickname, the Lightning, by actually stopping Teofimo Lopez 30 seconds into sparring, which explains why Teo refuses to talk about the sparring and rather spars El Rayo for the third time. Furthermore, as you all heard on the clip, Benavidez Sr. and El Rayo accepted Teofimo Lopez's challenge in no time. Now the stage is set for Teofimo Lopez to get his revenge. So the million-dollar question, will Teofimo Lopez follow up with his challenge? Or will this be another empty promise? Like Teo promised Mike Tyson and his fans that he was going to fight Devin Haney next. He also claimed he was going to send Devin Haney a contract that never arrived, then ended up fighting Composas instead. I guess time will tell. More importantly, for the fans and old media members that's questioning Benavidez Sr. and El Rayo on the sparring codes in the sport of boxing by claiming what happens in sparring stays in sparring. Now, to all of the fans that say that, including old media members, where was that energy? Where was that code when Teofimo Lopez was going around claiming he knocked out Devin Haney in sparring? Where was them fans that cared about the sparring code when Teofimo was going around lying, claiming he knocked out Devin Haney in sparring? Everybody was celebrating it like Floyd Mayweather have got knocked out or something. However, when news came out of a third source that El Rayo knocked out Teo in sparring, automatically, Benavidez Sr. started to receive a whole lot of questions on that subject, including me on Split Decision, because the fans wanted confirmation. And one thing about Benavidez Sr., he's a stand-up, honest guy. Not to mention, Benavidez Sr. talked about it mainly because Teofimo Sr. was mad disrespectful. In fact, he was trying to put hands and fight Benavidez Sr., just because his son got stopped by El Rayo. Therefore, in that incident, the code get thrown out of the window. Especially when Teofimo Sr. didn't apologize afterwards and squash the beef. Again, when Floyd Mayweather was looking bad in sparring, they talked about it, and the public loved it. I never heard someone in the comment section say, "What about the sparring code? What happens in sparring stays in sparring." Absolutely not. They loved it and ran with it. Just like Teofimo Lopez. Teo was trolling Devin, claiming he knocked out Devin in sparring. He said when he see him in person, it's on. However, the difference between El Rayo's situation and Teo claiming he knocked out Devin Haney's situation, Devin Haney responded to Teofimo Lopez the next day by stating, "You knocked me out, you couldn't even hit me. How you knocked me out when you couldn't even hit me?" Then obviously Teo responded by stating, "Devin wasn't doing anything, all he was doing was running." Now, you know when a fighter says that, it means he was getting outboxed, which means he was having a hard time landing punches on Devin, which confirms what Devin was saying. More importantly, Teo had a lot to say when it came to seeing Devin Haney in person. And then when Devin Haney ran up on Teo Teofimo Lopez's energy completely changed. His whole demeanor changed automatically the moment Devin Haney ran up on him. Devin told Teo, "You said you knocked me out. You couldn't even hit me." And Teo had nothing to say. Devin was challenging Teo. "We can make the fight right now. We can fight right now." At that moment, Teo realized he effed up because the next day, Teo pulled out of the WBC tournament that Lomachenko, Teo, and Devin Haney were all in. I'm going to also include the link for that video in the comment section below.
Perfect timing, Devin. Teofimo Lopez right here.
Yes, sir. Listen, hey, we need to just make, we need to go on and make it happen. We might as well, shit. Yeah.
All right, man, so here we go.
Cause he said he got the best, but I know I got the best of the sparring.
Nevertheless, the reason why I brought that up is to point out how Devin Haney handled the situation when Teofimo was claiming he knocked out Devin Haney in sparring. On the other hand, if you peep how Teofimo is handling the news of him getting KO'd by El Rayo in sparring, further confirms everything Benavidez Sr. said. Teofimo Lopez is reacting to the news by saying absolutely nothing. Mind you, my video alone with Benavidez Sr. did over 500,000 views in a month. However, Teo is ignoring it like no one have said anything. That alone further proof that he don't want to talk about the subject. And when he did talk about it, when Fight Hub threw the question at him, Teo surprisingly responded by stating, "You gonna dig that low? I understand you gotta get your clout too." I mean, who responds like that? That response alone let us know that the sparring did not go too well for Teo. Teo was almost telling Fight Hub, "Man, I thought you had my back. And you gonna turn your back on me and ask me about me getting knocked out? How you want me to answer the question?" Which I can't blame Teo on that one. I mean, how you expect Teo to respond to a question of him getting knocked out? Deny the truth when there was a cut man and multiple people that witnessed Teo getting knocked out. Therefore, Teo didn't have too much to work with. And by what Teo said alone, we know he got stopped twice, because a person that never been stopped in sparring and hears the news of him getting knocked out in sparring, he will respond by stating the obvious. When, where, and how? Me getting knocked out? By who? Man, I never been dropped in my life. Teofimo Lopez, on the other hand, he stated, "Oh, you gonna dig that low? Oh, you gonna ask me that question?" And today, Teo is asking for a trilogy in sparring, which further confirms what El Rayo and Benavidez Sr. said. And I could reassure multiple things about Benavidez Sr. He's very humble, honorable, trustworthy, and a stand-up person. Anybody that knows Benavidez Sr. will tell you these traits about him. He's a no-nonsense type of a guy. You're only going to get the real deal with him. Therefore, you got to be careful with what you ask for. The moral of the story is that karma is the B word. Teo was trolling Devin, lying on Devin Haney's name, claiming he knocked him out in sparring when it wasn't true, and the fans loved it. And now news come out of Teo getting knocked out twice in sparring. However, now the fans want to bring up the sparring code after Teofimo Lopez was talking shit and got humbled when he got struck by a lightning El Rayo. You really can't make this up. I mean, it's really rare to hear a fighter on this caliber like Teofimo Lopez getting stopped twice in sparring by an amateur at the time, El Rayo, who was 128 pounds. On the other hand, Teofimo Lopez was a big lightweight 2 years into his pro career. Therefore, I will give you guys updates and all the developments to the trilogy sparring. Also, if the sparring does go down, I will have it on Akhi TV. Therefore, subscribe, click on the notification bell, And here is what El Rayo had to say. That's what's up. Well, I'm glad you made that decision because your name have been buzzing ever since the news came out of you knocking out Teofimo Lopez in sparring.
Yeah.
How have the reception been from the fans on your end?
Some actually love it. They're showing me a lot of love. You know, there's always that the group of people that can't accept it. You know, I'm okay with that though. I'm just here to show everybody what I can do.
You recently turned pro. How much of a confident booster is it to do what you did with Teofimo in sparring and see him dethrone a pound for pound champion like Lomachenko?
It's a great feeling, you know, knowing I can be in there with him and hang with him. It's just at first it was a little frustrating, man, because I feel like my career was just taking a little bit too long. You know, the pandemic hit, and then it was just slowing me down. But I think now I'm catching a nice roll, and we're getting momentum. So it'll be only a matter of time so I can show the world what I can do. And with the whole Teofimo thing, you know, it's cool. I did stop him, but like that's not how I want to win my fans. You know, I want to win my fans. I want them to see me in action on live TV and put on great performances.
Yes, sir. Well, you have a lot of skills, that's for sure. Do you remember anything from the sparring, like the sequence or what you caught him with?
I remember like it was yesterday. So he was working with Benavides Jr. And then I've had great sparring with a lot of champions and a lot of fights. And I won't even speak on that. But the reason I speak on this is because how disrespectful they were with me, my team, my coach. And that guy has a loud mouth, so I think he need to be humbled. But yeah, he was working with Benavides Jr. I think they did like 2 rounds, and Benavides was too big for him or something like that. So he come to the corner, and he was like, "Where's that little kid y'all had?" So man, I hadn't got signed yet, worked with anybody. So I'm like, this is my opportunity to be, you know, to show what I got. So I ran, put my gloves on, got up in there, and I came in swinging for the fences. I hit him with the overhand left right away, and he like smirked, very cocky, you know. He thought I was like that. I was just gonna back out after that, but I kept coming, and I remember just touching him with everything, and he did not even like expecting it. And when he got to the ropes, what hurt him was a left hook to the body, and then that put him down. He took a knee right then, and I was very surprised. And he said that's it, and then he comes over to our corner, takes another knee, and he's like, no, we're done. And we were all like, what the hell? And his dad was kind of just quiet. He was like very, you know, also shocked. They told us they would come back again, and they did. 2 weeks, I think they gave us a call. So the second time we were supposed to spar a 6 round, everybody agreed on 6. It was a war from the first round to where when it finished. But except after the 4th round, he was like, "Oh, that's it, that's it." But we were like, "Man, you promised us 6," and they didn't want to do no more. So his dad was, I think they started feeling a little under pressure. So he started getting super mad, started talking shit, yelling, like very obnoxious. And then he wanted to fight Senior, and you know they had to take him outside and have him relax.